Okay, I think it's recording. So, since I've been, since I just listed the shaper on Marketplace, I figured I would try to spend a little bit of time uh, working on a couple of the parts that are in need of repair or fixing or modification. One of the things I wanted to clean up was this oil tray that goes on the back of it. Evidently, the machine was knocked over at some point and broken off, so they've got it all brazed up in here. And I at least would like to get this ground down a little bit and make it look a little more respectable. I'll probably leave the excess stuff on the bottom since it won't be quite as visible, but just kind of try to generally go around and clean up all the brazed areas. The kicker is this guy here is actually pretty darn crooked, so I'm half tempted to remove this stud and remove all the braze and weld it back on, or weld on another piece of half-inch stud or whatever. But that's one thing. And this is the bracket that I started to machine that mounts this guard, this belt guard that goes on the right hand side of the machine. I started to do the really funky machining process. It's been several videos back, but I wasn't having really good luck with it. I wound up kind of screwing up the cutter anyways, screwing up the tool. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a grinder to this, and I'm going to do all the grinding off camera. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a before after sort of thing, but take the grinder to it and kind of get the radius that this is supposed to be, or kind of approximate it. I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not, but I've got the holes marked out that I need to drill for it to mount to the underside of this. So luckily I didn't have too much trouble removing. I know I had at least one broken screw or one broken bolt, maybe two, and I'm almost thinking I had a hole that wasn't tapped, drilled, tapped, threaded, you know, the whole 9 yards. So anyways, I'm closer on that. Another thing I'm contemplating doing, and it may very well be in a different video, is, so these are the two belt guards that I've slowly kind of tinkered with off and on here and there. But one thing that the original belt guards are supposed to have are these slots. And I just kind of approximated them based off of dimensions I could get off the internet and so on and so forth. Since that is more of just a pretty thing, I'll probably wait on that and see if I get through getting the hinge mount finished the rest of the way I want to, building the other half of the hinge mount that goes on the back here that this attaches to, and the knobs and, you know, whatever else that these guys need to attach before I get into this. So this is a big if on that. But let me give you the idea of what I had. I had considered, obviously since this is sheet metal, I had considered just taking 10 snips and going through this with 10 snips to get the slots. But I knew if I did that, they would be really wavy, not very precise. So one of the things I had considered was securing these pieces down to a piece of wood on the mill and using whatever size milling bit seems to fit the bill, and just putting the slots in with the milling bit. Now obviously these are ever so slightly angled, so I'd have to do one, rotate it X degrees, do another one, rotate it, you know, back to another position. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a one-shot deal, but at least like that, I could get a nice radius at the beginning and the end, nice straight lines. So, anyways, we'll see. That would definitely be further down the road. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to tinker with was some more work on the vise. Let me get that. So the vise itself is in mechanically good condition. It's just the where it's supposed to take the wrench is a little bit chewed up and twisted up. I mean, it's seen a lot of use over the years, obviously, but the one thing that really could use some more attention is the mounting base for it, the swivel mounting base for it. And again, this has been several videos back, but I welded in a little chip of steel here to compensate for the piece of cast iron that was broken out of it. So I need to very, very carefully go in and grind this smooth again, and try to kind of get the outer radius of this to the extent possible. So I'm not, maybe grinding wouldn't be the best approach on this. Maybe this would be better to be put onto the rotary table and go across it with a milling bit. I'm going to keep that in mind because that might make more sense. But anyways, we'll see. That's again kind of a later thing. If I put this together right now, it functions. It's just not, you know, beautiful, obviously. So, anyways, those are the big things that I'd like to get through before I get the thing sold to anyone. So since this is probably one of the few decent days I'm going to have as far as decent temperatures for getting on, you know, heavy gear for grinding and welding, I think this is probably going to be the day to get outside and start, you know, throwing some sparks on this stuff. So anyways, I'm going to pause the video because there's no sense. Everybody out there has seen how a grinder works, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So I'll bring you guys back when I have a little bit more of something interesting to show you.